Make the Map. Make the Map is the main game to play with the Borders cards, and the aim of the game is to play all of the cards from your hand. And during play, you will build up a map of Europe on your table, and you need a fair amount of space to play. Probably enough space to fit roughly 10 cards by 10 cards. And if there's not enough space on your table, then feel free to play on the floor. Okay, first thing we do is we remove all the special cards from the deck, and that is the cars, trains, and ships. Then we shuffle the remaining cards, and we deal 5 cards to each player. Split the remaining cards roughly in 2 to create 2 draw piles. These are face down, so the countryside is face down, and the back of the cards is showing. So you're either going to see the flag or the Borders logo on the back of each card in the draw pile. Whenever a player needs to draw a card, they can choose which pile to draw from. So if a player needs to draw a card, they can choose to draw from draw pile 1 or draw pile 2. Okay, every player looks at their hand and they try and find the country card with the most named borders on it. They then count the number of border names and call out that number. So for example, if I have Poland in my hand, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 named borders around the card, which are Baltic Sea, Russia, Lithuania, Ukraine, Belarus, Czechia, Slovakia, and Germany. So I call out 8. And the second player, let's say the card they have with the most borders in the hand is Austria. They look at the card and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They also have 8. If there's a tie, then the card with the most country borders, so you exclude blue water borders, will start. In this case, Poland has the Baltic Sea. Austria has no water borders, so Austria is the card that you use to start the game. If it's still tied after looking at which has the most land borders, then the youngest player can start. The card with the most borders is played to the table as the first card for the game, and that starts the map. Play then proceeds clockwise. On their turn, each player has 3 choices. They can either discard a card from their hand and draw 2 cards, one from each of their draw piles. If they do that, they cannot then play any cards this turn. Their second choice is to just draw a card from one of the draw piles. In this case, they can choose which pile to use, and they draw and put that card in their hand. They can then play cards as normal if they're able to from the remaining cards in their hand. So it includes the card they drew. Their third choice on the turn is just to play 1 or more cards onto the map. Note that every player must do at least one of these things on their turn. If they cannot play any of their cards to the map, then they must either discard and draw 2, or draw 1 card. To play a country card onto the map, you need to find a matching border. Look at the cards in your hand and try to find one with a named border which matches one of the cards currently on the map. For example, if Austria is in the map and I have Italy in my hand, the top edge of the Italy card says Austria, which is northern edge, and so I can play the Italy card below the Austria card because Italy border says Austria, and so I can play it against Austria. To help you place cards, keep an eye out for green borders on the map. Green borders are special land borders, which wrap around more than one side of the card. If one side of the green border is touching the named country, then all sides of the green border become that country. This only happens when the named country is played touching the green border. So for example, with the map as it currently is with these 4 cards, there is this green border for Romania on this side, on the northeast side of the Serbia card, and also on the southeast side of the Hungary card. This doesn't do anything special yet because Romania has not yet been played to the map. However, if I play the Romania card next to Serbia, this green border then becomes Romania, and then this green border also becomes Romania because it's touching this one. If I then want to play another card to the map, which has Romania on the western left-hand side, then I can either play this to the left of Romania, or I can also play it on the left of Hungary because this border is now Romania. So Romania chains through these places, and so now I can play Moldova on this side. This gives the map some flexibility and enables cards to be played in multiple places, and what forms the core of the gameplay of Borders make the map. To play a water card onto the map, you need to find a card in the map with a matching blue border. You can then play your card touching that border. For example, if we have these cards here, Italy is here and has the Mediterranean around the bottom and the sides. So I can then play the Mediterranean card on one of the sides touching the Mediterranean border on the Italy card. Once the water card has been played, it activates the blue borders in the same way that the green borders are activated by country cards. This means that once the Mediterranean card has been played here, all of these edges of the Mediterranean card are now the Mediterranean, but also the bottom edge of the Italy card is also considered to be the Mediterranean. This means that if you have a card in your hand like Greece, you can then play Greece here because this is the Mediterranean Sea and it touches the Mediterranean. The first player to run out of cards in their hand is the winner.